Here is Peter destroying a flat screen television. And this is Peter destroying his entire neighborhood with an airplane. 3 cars, $1,500 each. 6 utility poles, $800 each. He's destroyed a lot, and I do mean a lot of stuff. But how much worth of property damage has this maniac racked up over the years? And is it enough to bankrupt the entirety of Rhode Island? Let's find out, shall we? Never, ever let Peter have anything even mildly dangerous. If he doesn't destroy it, he's gonna destroy something else with it. But somehow people keep letting this guy be in charge of things. Like Jerome, for example, in the episode The Wolf of Wall Street, where he had to leave town to go take care of his mom, and unfortunately for him, he bumped into these guys on his way out.
I don't want to close the place out, but I don't have anyone to run it.
We know this place better than anyone. What if we run it for you?
Yeah!
That's a great idea.
You fellas would really watch this place for me?
Running a bar is my dream.
Things actually start off pretty good. They get a bunch of customers, Quagmire, Joe, and Cleveland are really pulling their weight, and pretty soon the Drunken Clam is the latest, greatest spot in town. But guess who just has to ruin a good thing with his stupidity?
You know how people love mechanical bulls?
A real bull? It'll destroy the bar.
How can I get mad when I cinched its balls with my belt?
You know that saying about a bull in a china shop? Well, how do you think things are gonna end with a bull in a crowded bar? The wreckage, the destruction, the dang near annihilation of that bar. Jerome is not gonna be happy. But hey, things can always get worse. You know how Jerome had to close the bar for a bit to take care of his mom? Yeah, she died, but that's not even the worst part.
That painting's all I got to remember her by. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, they're really screwed now. So what do? First, they try to paint a replica of Jerome's mother, but that goes nowhere. So they decide to contribute funds to fix the bar before Jerome gets back. Nah, I'm just kidding. They make straw decoys of themselves for Jerome to beat up, and somehow that just kind of works. Kinda.
Oh no, I left the real me in there. He's falling for it, guys. He thinks I'm me.
It's kind of refreshing to see Peter face the consequences of his actions. He's done a lot of stuff that deserves several whoopings, like being the worst neighbor imaginable for one. This man is the last person you want to live near. Just look at what he did with the Peter copter.
Quick, to the Peter copter. Oh God.
Hey, yeah, this goes on for a little bit.
Joe, get inside. The blades are still spinning. Get inside.
Tearing up my yard!
Oh my God.
Rip that lawn and driveway up something fierce. Joe isn't even the neighbor that suffered the worst at Peter's hands. No, that honor goes straight to Cleveland. For some reason, Cleveland is doomed to repeatedly have his house destroyed by Peter's insane antics over and over again, like the time he bought an indoor hot air balloon.
No.
Peter's house is canonically worth $357,958, so Cleveland's can't be that far off. I'm just gonna call it $300K to fix structural damage that bad. And Cleveland has had to fix it a lot. Like the time Peter bought a tank and decided screwing around with it was a fantastic idea.
No.
Or the time he got a giraffe and just let it roam free the neighborhood. Then there was the brain-damaged horse getting in his way. And also the time Peter got a little too excited after watching a Roadhouse.
Get off my plane.
That's not even the same.
Not gonna talk to me like that in my bar.
Not a bar.
Oh, and let's not forget about the episode Stewie and Brian messed with the timeline and everything started going backwards.
No. Oh, hey, Cleveland. Australia, here I come.
Who could forget the time his crazy antics actually killed Loretta, Cleveland's ex-wife.
Time for United States of Terror.
No! I gotta know, is Cleveland's house made of cardboard or something? It just crumbles so easily. Either way, it's gonna cost him a pretty penny. Peter messing around with stuff he definitely shouldn't be isn't even when he's at his most destructive. Nope, it's when he decides to fight somebody, and boy has he fought a lot of people. Like the President of the United States, for example.
You are poor.
definitely the oldest person he's ever fought, and if you didn't know already, Peter's hands are rated E for everyone, and that does not exclude heads of states. You're probably wondering why the Secret Service is just letting this ass whooping go down. Yeah, they don't really care. Punch their way into the White House proper and just keep wailing on each other. I'm not sure what that was with the picture there, but I'm not gonna ask. Trump and Peter continue to punch each other all the way across the White House till they're outside again, and then this part happens, which is just truly insane. What the hell was that? I don't think that's how tasers work. And Peter straight up melted that guy too. They keep fighting because nothing can slow them down, and at this point, they might as well just be on a tour of Washington, D.C., because their fight somehow takes them all the way to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. Things aren't about to get any less weird either. Both of them have stolen priceless relics and taken the fight to the skies. These priceless artifacts are worth millions to the right buyer, and they use them to play a game of chicken. Obviously, crashing into each other mid-air proved to be a really dumb idea, as both of them were left hanging for their lives. I guess the life and death situation really makes them realize how pointless the fight is, and Trump tries to save Peter.
Grab my hand!
I can't! It's too little!
They survived the incredible fall thanks to, and I'm not kidding, Justin Trudeau, who shows up at the last minute and saves the day, I guess. Don't ask me, because I don't know. Politics is weird. By the by, Peter doesn't just fight actual people from real life, he's even crossed over to a different show just to throw hands, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Simpsons and Family Guy crossover, specifically towards the end of it when Homer and Peter got into a bit of a scuffle. I know. It isn't Quahog, but we're gonna count it.
I speak for all of us when I say I am over The Simpsons. I'm saying The Simpsons suck.
Okay, yeah, more than just a little fight, because pretty soon they'd already punched each other down the road, and just like the last fight, they were about to take a tour of Springfield. Of course, this tour is gonna be a bumpy ride. Pretty sure they're gonna break a little bit more than just a bus window. How in the sham hell did he do that? Teleporting aside, so far they haven't really done any real damage aside from a dozen fender benders, but things are about to go nuclear. Is this the part where Homer turns the fight into a one-sided beatdown? Nope, it's the part where he almost causes a meltdown again, and those aren't cheap. They fall through the frackin' floors like it's paper mache into a vat of nuclear waste, which, I mean, judging by how Mr. Burns runs the place, isn't exactly all that surprising. Falling into a vat of toxic waste doesn't kill them, or at least give them super cancer. No, it gives them superpowers instead, which of course just means they can destroy stuff even more. It's hard to tell there, but that blast definitely wrecked at least 30 buildings, not to mention all the poor innocent people. Now, I don't know what the average real estate value is in The Simpsons, but it's about $174,000 in Springfield, Ohio, so we're just gonna run with that. All that damage, and that's just from punching each other. And they're not done yet.
Damn it!
It was a pretty good fight. They beat each other all the way across town and even beat each other into space. Eventually, their radioactive powers wore off and they brought a whole flying saucer down to Earth. But of course, they survived all that. Battered and bruised, both men are barely standing at the end, but then the fight gets resolved in the most insane way.
Say hi to Maud Flanders.
Yeah, so Homer just straight up dies. Okay, fine, he doesn't die. He really should have though, but he just kind of walks it off. Homer and Peter say they're sorry and things go back to normal. Well, about as normal as a Family Guy Simpsons crossover can be. Anyway, by the way, when it comes to Peter fighting people and wrecking everything around him, I'm just getting started. This man has beat on a lot of people, and that includes his own dog. Brian, the dog Peter takes care of, is in love with Peter's wife, and he even makes a move on her. Of course, Peter is mighty pissed and confronts Brian about it. He did not get an apology though. Instead, he got this.
Well, who the hell are you to tell me how to run my marriage? You couldn't even get Jillian to take you back, and she was dumber than Lou Ferrigno.
Unfortunately, this fight was not as one-sided as I would have liked. Brian, the two-faced wife-stealing ingrate, puts up a pretty good fight, meaning the bar ended up being the real victim here. Peter's taking on way too many hits. Should have focused more on defense. Can you tell whose side I'm on? Unfortunately, the fight gets separated before Peter can go on the counterattack, so they just decide to talk things out instead. Brian promises to stop trying to steal Peter's wife, and, well, we know all that's a big ol' frickin' lie. I still think Peter went too easy on him in that fight. By the way, that's a good chunk of damage he's done there. Tallying up all the absolute destruction this man has left in his wake so far, we're looking at $1,057,870,124 in damages already. And no exaggeration here, that isn't even up to half of the kind of damage Peter has gotten up to in total. Despite Brian being himself, he is not Peter's nemesis. No, his nemesis is a giant chicken. His hatred for this fracking chicken has led him to basically destroying all of Quahog. The chicken's name is Ernie, by the way, and boy does he not deserve the ass whooping Peter keeps giving him. What started this incredibly destructive rivalry in the first place? Well, an expired coupon.
Oh, yeah, and that nice chicken outside gave me this coupon.
Sorry, this is expired.
Over a coupon? He doesn't even make them, he just works there. Well, that doesn't matter to Peter, he just keeps wailing on the poor guy, chicken guy. They take the fight all the way to the freeway, and I just want you to check this part out right here. You know, for a fat guy, Peter can really move. Either that or his unbridled rage allowed him to rip a wormhole in the very fabric of space-time, which I don't know about you, but I think is pretty likely. They continue their fight in the back of this truck, but this fight's about to cost more than one broken window. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume the driver hopped out just in time to avoid a fiery demise. Either way, Peter isn't really gonna let this chicken go, literally. He's taking his vendetta airborne, and pretty soon they find the next thing to wreck. The window I can understand, but right through a concrete wall, too? Peter is officially the last guy you want to give a bad coupon to. The beatdown just keeps going as well. He even gets an innocent photocopier involved. I know it's still making copies, but there's no way bashing someone's head in with a photocopier isn't at least going to void the warranty. Ernie looks good and done for after that one, and Peter goes to take his victory lap.
Chicken gave me a bad coupon.
Oh, now he's definitely done for. Or is he? Yeah, he's not. This is just the start of Peter's rivalry. Their next tussle was out of nowhere, like completely out of nowhere. Peter was just having a conversation with his neighbors when wham! Just start throwing hands right there in the middle of the road, and once again, Peter is putting up quite the fight. Why is he so good at fighting? It's honestly impressive. Speaking of, there's one tiny little problem with fighting on the road. Cars tend to drive there. Look at all that carnage. And the fight literally just started. At this point, one of those cars should have just run over them. Oh wait, one of them tried. It didn't end well. Poor guy, absolutely demolished by that train. Yet somehow, the sheer power of their bitter hatred kept Peter and the chicken alive, and they resume fighting, this time on top of a frackin' train. For a while at least. Eventually they fall off the train, and heck, even fall off a cliff while they're at it. Good thing they've got a ship moving by to soften their fall.
This isn't medium rare.
Getting hit by a moving train didn't kill them, so no, I'm not exactly surprised that insane fall didn't kill them either. They just keep punching each other like nothing happened, but they're gonna do more than just punch each other. They just need to find something to whack themselves with. They fall to the ground all the way to the ship's engine room. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how, they just do. And at this point, I'm starting to worry this ship isn't gonna make it out of this brawl in one piece. Okay, yeah, I said that was carnage before. Now this is carnage. And of course, once again, they keep just punching away like they didn't just rip the whole city in half. And yes, the average real estate value in Rhode Island is $500,000, meaning Peter is going to have one hell of a heavy check to cash. Peter's on the back foot getting the snot beat out of him literally when he's saved by the bell. Or should I say propeller? Peter's even more beat up than last time. I almost feel bad for him. Maybe if he hadn't ended so many lives and wrecked so many buildings. Oh, and by the way, if you thought the chicken was done for good, guess again. By the time their next rumble rolled around, it was on Peter's turf.
Oh, crap.
You know what? I'm not even gonna count all that damage. Wrecking his own possessions doesn't count. Honestly, out of all their fights so far, this one has to be by far the least destructive. They punch each other on Peter's property for a while, eventually falling into the sewers and doing this with the disgusting sewer water. Ew! Folks, that water is brown for a reason, and it's not a very pleasant one. After playing around in some filth for a while, they end up on a train throwing hands again and making everyone else's day just a little bit worse. Uh-oh, this is giving me flashbacks to the ship they just ran through town. Surely they'll notice they just killed the conductor and that the train is barreling out of control, right? Nah, they're too busy punching each other. At this point, they're just fighting anywhere. Because tell me, why these two are exchanging blows while precariously perched at the top of a construction site? But just hold on a second, because these boys are about to take this fight airborne again. Imagine being so blinded by rage you don't even notice or seem to care you're on a plane. Why did Peter just rip out the thing he used to fly the thing? Well, as expected, the plane isn't gonna stay in the sky much longer after that. Not even falling from the sky is gonna slow these two frickers down, much less a massive Ferris wheel barreling its way through town, wrecking, destroying, purging everything in sight. Despite the circumstances, they still managed to keep punching each other though. After all of that destruction, they finally realized just how stupid this whole rivalry was from the start.
Wait, hey, hang on. What are we fighting about?
I have completely forgotten.
Me too.
Something about a coupon. I hope I didn't hurt you.
No, I'm fine. I'm all right.
Let me make it up to you. Why don't you let my wife and I take you out to dinner?
They're bloodied, they're battered, but they make amends. Peter agrees to join Ernie and his wife for dinner, and they have a swell old time. But alas, almost as if these two are cosmically bound to end up punching each other, the two of them start arguing over who's gonna pay for dinner.
Let go of the check.
Ernie.
Stay out of this.
Don't you talk to my wife like that.
Oh, yeah? What are you gonna do about it?
Some people in the restaurant quickly make a run for it, which is certainly the right choice because you do not want to be anywhere near these two when they start fighting, you know, because of all the stuff they love to break. It was dumb when they were beating on each other over an expired coupon, but now this is just idiotic. They don't care, though. They pretty much use everything they can to hit each other until Peter finally finishes things off with a piping hot pot. Cue the victory lap. Now, would you believe me if I told you the chicken was finally done for? You wouldn't. Well, I can't blame you because he is still alive somehow. And you know what that means? Even more chicken fighting. I feel like we've been talking about Peter fighting the stupid chicken for like the past 10 minutes. People better start clearing the streets. Things are about to get ugly. They even get a not so innocent ice cream truck involved in their shenanigans this go around. I'll give you one guess what Herbert was doing with that ice cream truck. Here's a hint. It's not just selling ice cream. Anyway, wrecking his truck might just be the only justifiable bit of damage Peter is responsible for. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is just gonna be another Peter versus Ernie punch fest where they go around wrecking everything in sight. No, not this time. They decided to kick this one up a notch. Why destroy stuff now when you can destroy things earlier? I'm talking about time travel. They travel through time.
Well, now I've seen Woodrow Wilson naked.
Stewie really picked the most convenient spot to spawn in, didn't he? Looks like they've time traveled to the closest thing into the middle of nowhere. Surely out here they can't continue to wreck stuff, right? Wrong. Well, aren't they lucky? Managed to hit the only time traveling DeLorean at this particular point in space-time. I was wondering how they were gonna get home. Well, they've traveled through time. They just fought their way into a rocket. I think you can probably tell what's about to happen here. Yeah, they're going to space. But since Peter and Ernie just smushed all the astronauts, I don't think this space shuttle is gonna have a very smooth ride. Pretty sure they just destroyed the entire International Space Station. Now that's gonna cost a pretty penny. So they survived traveling through space. Are they gonna survive the cold emptiness of space? You bet your bottom dollar they are. There is no accident, no crash landing, no calamity. These two cannot survive. All thanks to the unstoppable, unbridled power of punching each other a lot. So the oil rig is severely damaged, but not completely destroyed. It's still standing. So these two get the chance to continue hitting each other as hard as they can. And that officially makes the oil rig the most powerful character in all of Family Guy. Peter starts to take a real beating too. He looks like he might actually finally lose. But just at the last moment, he flips it. A hanging? What is that? We all know that's not good enough to kill this unstoppable chicken. Come on. Okay, yeah, that's gonna do it. No coming back from that one. The rig blows up completely and Peter walks away. Once again, a victory lap. Except you probably already know what's coming. That's right, stabbed and roasted by a jet engine still ain't enough. Ernie lives, and he's gonna come back for revenge. Well, kinda. We haven't gotten a proper Peter versus Ernie fight since then, and well, it's entirely possible we might not ever get one. Looks like Meg might have ended the beef once and for all. Yeah, that actually happened. After all these years, Meg is the one that finally killed him. They don't even do the thing where they hint at his return. It might actually be over. Now, there are a couple Peter versus Ernie fights I haven't shown you yet, mostly because they're a little weird. Like the one from the episode where Stewie and Brian messed up time and everything started going backwards. Looking to fix things, they stumble upon the aftermath of one of Peter's battles.
God, look at all this devastation. What the hell happened?
What the hell happened indeed? Since the timeline is all screwed up, we got to see the absolute devastation, but backwards. Of course, they somehow got on a plane and crashed the damn thing. Not even a little surprising. Now, this is the only fight that isn't from Peter's perspective, so we don't get to see everything they destroy, but we get to see a chunk of it, like this out-of-control bus, for example. They also found themselves in a military surplus store and goofed around a little bit with a live grenade.
Today's the day you finally ask out that barista.
After a good bit of rewinding, we actually see how the fight started. And would you believe me if I said Peter was to blame again? Told you this one was a bit weird, but there's one more showdown between Peter and his feathery nemesis I haven't covered yet. Frankly, most fans of the show have probably never even seen it, and that's because it's from the Family Guy mobile game, The Quest for Stuff.
You won't get away with this. You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Being the intro for a mobile game and all, this one's actually pretty short, but that doesn't mean Peter doesn't break stuff. In fact, he commits the most amount of damage we've ever seen in the series. By the way, Peter actually lost this fight. I know, shocking, right? In the process of getting his ass beat, Peter actually sets fire to all the Quahog. That is some serious wide-scale destruction right there. I'm just gonna be charitable and chalk that up to $30 billion in damages. All in all, Peter's many rampages and overall silly antics would cost him $185,276,244,629. That's about triple the GDP of Rhode Island. For comparison, more than enough to bankrupt all of Quahog. Peter's gonna be writing checks for the next few millennia to pay that one off. But believe it or not, he's not even the worst offender I've covered on this channel. Click the link on screen and check out what character is capable of even worse destruction.